Hello and welcome to Mosaic with TJ Randolph. I am TJ Randolph. I know I'm late to the party, but I'm going to talk to you about Tia Mowry and this epiphany that she has come to that made her decide it was time to end her marriage and 22-year-long relationship with Corey Hardrick. I know I'm late to the party, but better late than never. So let's go ahead and get started. Hello again. I am sipping on some cherry chocolate cocoa because it is cold outside, and I've got the fireplace crackling on the television screen in the back to kind of put us in the mood. I've been seeing that everyone has been talking about this Tia Mowry and Corey Hardrick situation, and I remember when I first got wind that they were divorcing, like so many people, I was wondering, okay, what is going on? But someone sent me the video of when she went on to Hoda and Jenny, I believe. So we're going to talk about that for a moment. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Yeah, on Hoda and Jenna. Excuse me, not Jenny. Jenna. So sorry about that. So I'm going to pull this up. We're going to look at it for a second here.
Her Instagram boasts more than 11 million followers, and she describes herself as a lover of family, food, and fun.
It sounds like a lot of us. Let us welcome actress and producer Tia Mowry.
The DJ here. It's like a party in here.
It's a party. How you doing?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for asking. I'm doing good.
We're so happy you're here. We just had your sister.
I know.
We love her.
And I love.
She's doing well. You know, I don't know these women, but I'm just not getting a real vibe here. But anyway, let's continue.
Love her too. I just talked to her I talked to her 2 days ago.
She is. So, do you all feel like you're each other's kind of North Star? Does it still feel that way?
Oh yes, definitely. I mean, she's like my best friend. I feel like she's like really my life partner when it comes to life. You know what I mean? She's always just right by my side. So I love you.
You know what's?
I'm sorry, the laugh. I remember, this is an aside, one of my close friends, God rest her soul, she had this laugh. We was like, this can't be real. I forget how it was, but it was so annoying. We were like, it can't be real. And that's the vibe I'm getting from this laugh. Let's go.
You're at an interesting stage or
Yes.
phase in your life, Tia, and you've spoken about this, so
Yes.
we're comfortable asking you about it. But you and your husband, like a lot of couples, decided that it was better to be lived. Your life's better lived apart than together.
Yes.
How did you know that it was time?
That's a really good question.
take that route?
I knew when I really started to focus on my happiness. I feel like women, we tend to focus on everybody else's happiness, making sure that everybody else is okay, meaning our children. Meaning, you know, our children, our friends, our, family. But at the end of the day, it's about self-love. And when you start to really work on yourself, love yourself, know your value, know your worth,
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there for a moment because I want to read an article. She knew that it was time to make that decision when she realized that she needed to focus on her happiness. I don't necessarily disagree with part of what she's saying because as mothers, you know, I've been a mother longer than I've been a wife. It's easy to take the focus off of yourself when you have someone else to take care of. And it is important to balance it. And sometimes we can forget to do that. I definitely know that when I was raising my daughter, I forgot to do that. I'm not saying I didn't do things for myself, because I did. You know, I shopped, manicure, pedicure, therapy, but there's still more to it than that. And I lost myself in raising her. So much so, like I've shared with you, when she got ready to go graduate from high school, I was a basket case. But what I want to read here is an article, well, part of the article, Tia Mowry and Corey Hardrick's relationship timeline from married with kids to their 2002 split and more. Beautiful couple. A true Hollywood love story. Tia Mowry and Corey Hardrick's meet cute was straight out of a movie. But their romance fizzled out by fall 2022. 1 year after the Sister Sister alum wrapped up her hit TV series in 1999, she was swept off her feet by Hardrick while filming a horror movie. The twosome said "I do" in 2008 and went on to welcome 2 children, son Cree and daughter Cairo. The family reunion actress pointed to the pair's firstborn Cree as the inspiration for the decision to renew their vows in 2013. So in 2013, a little less than 10 years ago, they renewed their vows. Okay? But something is amiss. Let's continue. Cree was my motivation and inspiration to renew our vows, Mowry exclusively told Us Weekly in April 2013 after celebrating 5 years of marriage. Corey and I have been together for 13 years. So by that time, they've been together for 13 years and married for 5. However, we now have this new miracle in our lives, and I wanted to celebrate our love and what our love together created. Cree. Let's see here. 3 years later, Hardrick gushed over the Twitch's star on Valentine's Day. 16 years later, my wife still looks at me this way, he wrote on Instagram. In February 2016, sharing a black and white photo of the pair staring into each other's eyes. We met when I didn't have a car, sleeping on the floor in a studio apartment with no furniture. The All-American Homecoming star revealed he was just a young man from Chicago pursuing a dream, but Mowry saw my heart and believed in me when others doubted, he concluded. I would give my life for you, Tia Mowry. The couple who co-starred on the reality series Tia Mowry at Home appeared to be on good terms in April 2022 as they toasted 14 years of marriage. So April 2022, they were seemed to be on good terms. Wow. I've loved you for 22 years and I've loved you for 22 years and I'll love you for 1 million more. The former Food Network Star Kids mentor wrote via social media on her then husband's via social media. Okay, let me just start over. That was a mess. I've loved you for 22 years and I'll love you for 1 million more. The former Food Network Star Kids mentor wrote via social media of her then husband. Happy 14th anniversary. I love you, Mr. Hardrick. This is in April. We're in November. 3 months later, the twosome flew to Europe for their ultimate family vacation. Their happiness, however, didn't last long once they touched back into the States. Okay, look, there's something going on here. Mallory announced in October 22 that the longtime couple had called it quits. I've always been honest with my fans, and today is no different. I wanted to share that Corey and I have decided to go our separate ways. I don't know. I wish that I could say that I had the answer, because again, how can you be together for 22 years and still be so young, and to be so much seemingly so much in love and committed to one another and their family, to go from that in April 22 to October calling it quits. Now let's go back to the interview.
And then all of a sudden there's this awakening, and it's not easy. It's a hard journey, but at the end of the day, I feel like it is so worth it. So
Yeah. Wow. Thank you. Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you something. It may be worth it now, and I'm not gonna say it's not. It may not be worth it to her later. But what I know for sure, as you go through this thing called life, you want someone to share it with. Billy D. Williams said in Mahogany, for my old heads, success means nothing unless you have someone you love to share it with. And maybe because they got together when she was so young, thinking, okay, maybe I'm missing out on something. But I'm here to tell you, there's nothing out here. And I'm here to tell you, no one is going to love you and or your children the way this man does. And I think sometimes we take that for granted. Now, of course, there's, in as much as she says that she's honest with her fans, there's, she's not giving us everything, nor should she. But happiness is one thing, joy is something else. And how come when we come to the realization that we need to experience joy in our life, we have to do it at the exclusion of our husband and children? I'm asking the question, I don't know. Is it that we can't multitask? Let's continue.
First of all, you could hear the people saying yes, and here, people at home are sitting thinking like, I feel this, because marriage is hard,
It takes a lot of work.
And it also takes a lot of guts to know when you need to change something.
Yes, it really does.
It takes a lot of courage to say, this isn't working.
Yeah.
Was there a moment where you knew, I have to do something different?
Yes, I feel like when I started to, again, like I said, focus on myself, but there was this sadness. And I knew that life is short. I had actually, lost my grandmother. We had lost Elena Housley, and both of them at the same time. There was just an aha moment in me where I said, you know what? You need to tap in, see what's really going on with your happiness. Life is short. Let's go. Let's start working on you and really focusing on what really, really matters here, which is, at the end of the day, your peace, your joy, and your happiness. So I would say that. And I was in therapy as well.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of therapy. So it was all of that, together that.
Obviously, there's more to the story. What I get concerned about are the children. And the reason why I say that is, by no means was I with my daughter's father is, a fraction of the time that she was with her husband. But I remember, when her father and my daughter's father and I reconnected and got romantically involved again when she was 4 or 5 and decided to get married when she was 5 and tried to make a go of it. And it was volatile. She shared some things herself that she was kind of glad that we didn't stay together because it got pretty ugly. But I felt like such a failure. I felt like a failure because I felt that I gave my daughter something that I knew she wanted. And that was for her parents to be together. And I felt as if it would have been better had I never given that to her than to give it to her and take it away. Because her father and I had, we were trying to co-parent before we, got back together. And there were some, ups and downs, clearly. But I thought that, we'll give this a try. And I thought, like I'm saying here, that, well, no one is going to love me and or my daughter more than her father. So why not give it a chance? And we did. And it didn't last long. And I remember again feeling such tremendous guilt. And feeling such, such failure that I had disappointed my daughter. And that's what I wonder about here.
That gave me that aha moment.
What were you the most afraid of? Stepping in, because you're stepping in, because some people when you say, oh, my husband and I are going our separate ways, they go, oh no, oh that's sad. But you actually see this as
a celebration.
A celebration.
I really do. I look at it as one of my friends, she sent this beautiful letter to me from a woman who got a divorce. And it's all about, this perspective, in my opinion, and just changing the narrative. My marriage was a success.
Yeah.
I look at it as like a curriculum when you're in college or high school.
Now, this is what I don't get. If it's a success, why give it up? I don't understand. To me, if it's a success, why give up on it? Like careers. She's an actress. She's a producer. She's been acting since she was a child. She considers her career a success because she keeps working at it. Okay? She's not giving it up. She's continuing to invest in it, hone her skills, hone her craft. Am I missing something?
Right? You're learning, you're growing, you're evolving, you're creating. And I was able to create with Corey some beautiful, amazing children. And at the end of that curriculum, and at the end, there's a graduation, there's a celebration. So that's basically, how I'm looking at it now. And I feel like people when they look at marriage, that success equals longevity. But no, at the end of the day, it's, are they happy? Are they thriving? Are they growing? And I feel like that is what is most important. It's not about staying in something because however long you are in that situation, that equals success.
Now, I will agree that people shouldn't stay anything for the sake of staying in it. Are you thriving as an individual, as a couple, as a family? That is important. And what I know now that I did not know then, when you think about happiness and joy, it is an effort. It is a collective effort that, people may say, well, TJ, what do you know? Because you've only been married, with your husband now 4 years. Yeah, it's true. But what I know now is that I'm not willing to give it up. I'm not saying my daughter's father and I would have lasted longer had I tried harder. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But one thing I do know, I didn't give up on raising my daughter when it got tough. I made mistakes. I didn't, just say, the curriculum of having a daughter was, to get to this point and give it all I got and then just let go, because you never let go of your children. You shouldn't. Even now, though she's grown, I haven't graduated from being her mother. My role and responsibility is different because she doesn't need me for the same things that she needed me for then. Same thing I look at in marriage. The needs change. You adapt to the change. Now, if it's something that is, detrimental, violence, arguing all the time, absolutely you're not. But when we talk about happiness, what are we really talking about? Because just in April, she said, I've loved you for 22 years and I'll love you for 1,000,000 more. So what changed? Were you not happy then?
It's about really, again, are you happy? Because life is really short.
Yeah.
I mean, you are.
Life is really short. And I'm going to tell you something. I really pray that they can find their way back to one another. I really do. I really do, because when you know your worth, you can demand that of your partner. And if they love you, they're willing to give you that. And if they don't have the tools to give you that, if you matter enough to them, they will work to try to give you what you need. But because of what you've invested, no one's going to do that. And I'm generalizing because anything is possible. But there appears to be no animus between them. And it begs the question, it's kind of like with, Tom Brady. I mean, after all you've been through together, the family you've built.
Your resilience and strength is really beautiful. And I know that one of the things you love with your kids is to travel. You have a new project.
Yes,
Tell us a little bit about
I have an amazing partnership. I'm very...
Okay, so again, we're talking about, her career is thriving. So she said that her marriage was a curriculum. And when you've gone through the curriculum, you graduate and there's a celebration. I'm not sure that I can understand that. I'm not sure I understand that. I don't know how you can compare a marriage to a college curriculum. And I'm going to tell you something. I remember when I divorced my daughter's father, and I forget where I was at or something like that. And I said, yeah, I'm divorced. And they said, oh, I'm sorry. And I said, I'm not. And I was very flippant about it. I was flippant about it because, again, one, I thought I had so much more time to get it right and find that person and settle down and have the life that I wanted with a husband. And two, we were not good together. I won't blame it all on him. I won't blame it all on me. But I think me being flippant was not, looking back on it, there was nothing to celebrate. Like I said, once, when I decided to do it, I felt like a failure. And once I got past that, I said, I would say, well, I'm not sorry, because I had come to terms with the fact that, it wasn't a good relationship. But there were so many, my daughter was involved in it. It wasn't just me. It just wasn't him. It was our daughter. But in our case, it was better that we separated and that we went our separate ways. By my daughter's own admission, we were not she was being exposed to anger and ire that she never should have experienced. I'm reminded of a story of a movie that me and Mr. Randolph just saw last night. It was, I think, Medea's funeral or something like that. And the gist of it was this family was convening for the parents' I think 50th wedding anniversary. And during that time, there were 3 children. They thought their parents had the most beautiful relationship, and they came together to celebrate their parents' union, only to find that the father was engaged in an extramarital affair that ultimately resulted in his death. And during the course of the movie, it came out that the father was unfaithful throughout the course of their marriage, but the mother stayed anyway. And when the children found out, particularly the son found out that the mom had stayed throughout this infidelity, he called his mother weak. And she said, well, maybe I am weak. You consider it weak, but I consider that I kept my family together so I could raise you and make sure that your father would take care of us. And I despised him for how he treated me, but I kept this family together. And inasmuch as I do not agree with the idea of staying together for togethers' sake, that was an example of duty, because even though there was definitely some strain in the marriage, but they kept it away from their children to the extent that the children didn't even know. So I won't begin to say that I have the answer, because I don't. But I will say that if there's an example to be had in this movie, there are many families like that in the movie, in like this movie, where the parents stay together and they keep whatever the strife is away from their children, so their children can grow up in a 2-parent household and to thrive. But conversely, there are those who stay together and it's tremendously toxic, and the children see that too. So I wish I could say that I have the answer. I don't. But I am concerned because, I think Tia Mowry is 43, so they've been together for 22 years. So they got together, she was 20, 21? It's a whole different ball game now. And she will find that out. Hopefully she won't find it out too late after he's gone on and moved on. Because if we're talking about, I think I've heard some suggestions that it may have been financial issues as well. Well, finances can be worked on. He said that when they got together, she saw into his heart when he had nothing. Did she decide that she was tired? I think it's very unfortunate. And I think we as women, we have to try to find a way to balance it. Yes, we can get caught up being wives and mothers, and forget about ourselves and forget who we were before we became these other people. I did it with my daughter. Had to rediscover, who am I apart from her mother? Because I had forgotten. I had forgotten what my interests were. I had to rediscover who I was. But if you are blessed to have a union that is loving, that you work well together, why not rediscover that while you're in it? Rediscover yourself, rediscover your partner, and grow together. I'm glad I got a second chance. I am. And like I said, she may think, I'm 43, I have all this time. And maybe she does. I love my girlfriends. I love my close girlfriends. I don't have a lot of girlfriends. But I love my husband. And I'm so glad I get to snuggle up with him and that I have him as a best friend. That's different. I've rambled. But I hope that they can find their way back to each other. And I hope that, because it's more, yes, at the end of the day, life is short. But I want to have my husband standing next to me or holding my hand at the end of that journey. And I want us to have joy together. Because see, I will submit it's easy. She might find it a little bit easier right now because she is focusing on traveling with her kids and all these things with, her career and all that kind of stuff. But what happens when her children go and they're grown and they go off on their own? That's when it's going to hit. That's when it hit me. That's when it hit me. And like I said, hopefully you won't be too far gone that you all can't reconnect, because no one is going to love you like this man has loved you. So anyway, that's all I got. Let me know what you think in the comments. Ciao for now.